going to show you how to make a soda bread with a little twist of fruit and nuts. So first of all, always weigh out your ingredients. It's something I always say, but it's so true. So you make sure you've got all your ingredients in front of you, your mise en place. So let's crack on. First of all, I'm going to add in my plain flour using a nice deep bowl. Then we're going to add in the spelt flour and give that a really good mix. And you want them to be really incorporated. So take your time when you're mixing your flours together. If you want to see if there's any lumps, you just shake your bowl and the lumps will rise to the top. Then I'm going to add in my pinch of salt. Quite a generous pinch because you do need that for the flavour. And I've also got some bicarbonate of soda. Again, give that a mix. I'm going to add my nuts and fruit to this at this stage. You can add it in at a later date, but I think it's nicer to add it in at this stage because I definitely get them all incorporated. Now, you don't have to add fruit and nuts. This is a really good recipe just to have plain, but I like to have a little bit of crunch, a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of texture. So again, mix that in. Now, soda bread is really forgiving. There's no proving, there's hardly any kneading, there's no resting. So it's a great bread to start with. It's best eaten on the day. I'm going to add some of my black treacle to my butter, my melted butter. And then mix that in. So I'm going to add in, it smells amazing, I have to say. I'm going to add in my plant milk. My black treacle, and then I'm going to give that a really good mix. So with the melted butter, I like to use a solid block of butter. So I don't mind what brand, but you definitely want to use one of the more solid blocks. I think they have a higher fat content, and that's what you need. So I'm going to add just the extra bit of liquid in there. Because what happens with a spelt flour is it actually absorbs the liquid more. So I'm going to get that all mixed in. And it's, yes, and another reason why I like soda bread is A, it tastes really good, it bakes really quickly, and you can make it on the day and you've got a lovely fresh bread. You can bake it every single day, whereas other breads, you have to rest and prove, and it takes a lot longer. So I'm just gonna lightly flour my surface and tip it out. You don't wanna shape it too much, just a little bit. And if any bits come off, you can tuck them underneath. So again, you don't have to be an expert in kneading or baking. It's literally a really rustic looking loaf that tastes good. So traditionally, they're a dome shape, but what you've got to be careful of is that it bakes in the middle. So I like to have mine a little bit flatter, because it's quicker to bake and you know it's going to bake evenly. Now, before I completely shape that, I want to talk about baking, what we use. You can put this straight on a baking tray, but I'm actually going to put it in a cake tin, a 9-inch cake tin, and I'm going to use some parchment paper. So I'm, again, very rustic. I'm just going to tear it off. So before I do that, I'm going to scrunch it up. And then roughly line it, because you want it to be, it's a rustic country loaf. So traditionally we're going to do a little score on the top, so a sharp knife. And then across. You need to go relatively deep, otherwise it tends to close up. Okay, then we're going to carefully place it inside. And then this is going to bake for around 45 minutes. The soda bread's been in the oven for 40 minutes, it's baked all the way through, so now it's time to slice and serve. Obviously it's really hot at this point, so make sure you use something to protect your hands. And then carefully remove your parchment. And then we're going to slice through. So just be careful, it is hot. And you can see the currants and the nuts. It's looking lovely. And I'm going to put a liberal amount of jam. Warm soda bread with lashings of jam is my idea of heaven. So I hope you make it and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do.